Coming up on AgweekTV, grain prices hit multi-year highs as planters finally get rolling in the Western Corn Belt. The Transportation Secretary touts the rural benefits of the administration's infrastructure package. And one-time COVID relief funds, many major ag projects in the region. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. Old crop grain prices hit 7 to 8.5 year highs this week as end users scrambled to secure product amid tight supplies. Both ethanol plants and soybean processors have been trying to keep corn and soybeans out of the export market by pushing cash basis levels and bids to historically high levels. There is growing concern about spot shortages for plants as we move into summer.
That's why they're bidding up for it now, is to try to contract this as far ahead as they can and to be able to stay producing as long as they can.
We're not rationing soybeans at this point. We continue to crush. We continue to sell meal and oil. I think it's possible we're going to see some processors shut down for maybe a bit longer for their annual repair and maintenance.
The strong global demand for vegetable oil has boosted soybean processor profits. ADM reported first quarter net earnings were up 76% due to record margins in its soybean processing business, plus ethanol operations and profits have also turned around. Cold temperatures most of April kept farmers out of the field in the region. In Nebraska, corn planting was at just 6% on April 25th compared to 15% normally. However, planters finally started to roll this week in the northeast part of the state. Jim Miller says they waited because the soil temperatures just didn't warm above 50 degrees, and lows even dropped to the mid-20s last week. That dashed hopes for an early planting season, but Miller says they're still in a favorable planting window.
This is about the time that we normally start, so we don't feel like we're behind the 8 ball because we're getting a slow start. We're about on a normal pace, I would say.
Mike Kors says the field conditions are nearly ideal and there's good topsoil moisture in most of the northeastern part of Nebraska to get the crop emerged. However, there's no subsoil reserve.
It's a big concern. I mean, if we don't get timely rains, this area will suffer bad because we are dry. I mean, we've had a few itty-bitty rains here and there, but they just haven't amounted to enough. Our subsoil is totally depleted.
Kort's farm is about 50% irrigated, and he's still optimistic that with timely rains, the dryland fields could achieve some good yields. In South Dakota, farmers had only 4% of the corn and 1% of the soybeans planted as of last weekend. However, by Wednesday, progress was picking up at Zane Williams' farm in southeast South Dakota. He says they normally start planting in late April, early May. They are in an area that was too wet to plant in 2019, but this year the fields are much drier, allowing for quick planting. He says the crop will emerge quickly, but won't have much subsoil moisture to go on after the flash drought last summer and with very little winter precipitation.
I don't think we're going to build our profile of our moisture up in our soil this year, but if we can just get timely rains, that's really all we need.
So you're still optimistic about normal yields?
Absolutely.
While the drought monitor shows much of South Dakota is in extreme drought, he says it's too early to be concerned about a repeat of the drought of 2012.
In 2012, and actually May 5th, we started cutting alfalfa. And this year, maybe in June 5th. So no, I think we're going to have a better year than 2012.
He says if the historically high grain prices last, it will make it a profitable crop year for producers. However, he's also feeding high-priced corn to his cattle. President Biden rolled out his plan for the economy this week, but Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is taking a lead in making the case for the Biden administration's infrastructure package in rural America. In an AgriPulse interview, Buttigieg emphasized the American Jobs Plan includes $621 billion of investments in infrastructure to help American farmers get their products to market, which is unprecedented. He says that includes $17 billion for inland waterway construction and repair.
We have an enormous backlog, including in ports. We got to do more to prepare these ports for the future, and that $17 billion in support really represents an investment of a different kind than what we've seen up until now.
Biofuels groups have been critical because the plan includes $174 billion for electric vehicle infrastructure, but few dollars for renewable fuels.
This provision definitely supports biofuels in terms of things like extending a blender's tax credit, looking at how biofuels could be part of the solution, perhaps for aviation, making sure we're supporting R&D and a healthy mix of advanced renewables.
Buttigieg says with the global push for electric vehicles, the U.S. needs to position itself as a leader in energy, and manufacturing these autos is part of that. He says if the U.S. doesn't lead in energy, countries like China will. President Biden also unveiled his $1.8 trillion American Families Plan on Wednesday. It included new spending measures to be funded in part by higher taxes. The administration proposes raising the top income tax rate to 39.6% from 37%, plus doubling long-term capital gains taxes to 43.4% on households making over $1 million. The plan would put a $1 million cap on assets that could receive stepped-up basis, but family businesses like farms would be exempted. The plan also limits Section 1031 real estate exchanges to $500,000. There's good news on the regulatory front. EPA Administrator Michael Regan has pledged not to return to the Obama administration's Waters of the U.S. rule. At a congressional hearing, Regan said that the agency plans to have a stakeholder engagement process with ag and environmental groups to craft the WOTUS rule in a balanced way. U.S. Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack announced USDA is opening enrollment in the Conservation Reserve Program. The agency plans to try to attract another 4 million acres through higher payment rates, new incentives, and a more targeted focus on the program's role in the climate change mitigation. In 2021, CRP is capped at 25 million, with 20.8 million acres currently enrolled. There is skepticism about being able to attract additional signups with the high commodity prices. Coming up on AgweekTV, North Dakota lawmakers hope they've finally solved a long-standing dispute between hunters and landowners with the help of technology.
Superior Grain Equipment is committed to quality and service. Protect your bottom line and your future with superior quality, protection, and reliability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
The planter service technicians at Titan Machinery have the training, experience, and genuine Case IH parts and service to get the most out of your planters. From pre-season tune-ups to precision planting upgrades and major overhauls, the knowledgeable professionals at Titan Machinery will maximize your planting productivity. And before storing your equipment after the season, contact your Titan Machinery dealer about post-season uptime planter specials and genuine Case IH parts and service. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH and precision planting specialists.
You can get the field results you want in varying conditions with the flexibility of the Summers VRT Renegade. Featuring on-the-fly blade angle adjustment from 0 to 19 degrees. And if you want the simplicity of a super coulter with the ability to move a little dirt, you'll love the all-new Summers Super Coulter Samurai. Go to summersmfg.com or visit your local dealer to learn more about North America's broadest line of tillage equipment and other products from North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you. From top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
We're going to talk today about a revolutionary auto steer product that you guys have developed.
We back one of these things in, it'll drain a 40-acre patch just within hours.
What can you tell us about what dairy farmers do to make sure that their animals are happy?
Their care is our primary concern.
Is there still time for producers to get storage bins up?
Absolutely. We still can definitely get something up and ready for corn harvest.
States and state legislatures in the region are funding a variety of projects that will benefit agriculture. It's thanks to a massive amount of one-time spending coming from federal COVID relief money and previous savings. It's our AgWeek cover story. In South Dakota, the 2021 legislature passed a historic $5.1 billion budget for next fiscal year, including $6 million for infrastructure. Other projects included the $20 million Dakota Events Complex at the South Dakota State Fair and grant funding for a $20 million bioproducts facility at Research Park in Brookings.
They will be looking at some of the byproducts that come from our feeds, whether it's corn, soybeans, and try to find new uses for them, whether it's plastic, whether it's adhesives.
Plus, there's funding for a new $15 million dairy research and extension farm at SDSU.
Now there's $7.5 million of general fund dollars that can be used for the building and construction of a new dairy, and we'll come alongside it with another $7.5 million of industry dollars and be able to build a state-of-the-art dairy production facility.
Legislators also approved $100 million to expand high-speed broadband. This was also a big week for ag funding in the North Dakota legislature. Both the North Dakota Ag Department and NDSU extension budgets passed, with a number of capital improvements and other projects getting a boost. The funding for extension includes improvements at facilities in Streeter, Carrington, and Langdon. Senator Terry Wanzik, who serves on the Appropriations Committee, says more projects may be funded if money allows. He says although they considered cuts, in the end he feels lawmakers made the ag budgets whole.
Everybody seems to be very pleased, and we look at it as an investment instead of an expenditure. You know, you're providing the necessary tools for our state's farmers and ranchers so they can maximize their production and help make them more successful and profitable.
Lawmakers also approved funding and loan buy-down programs for value-added ag projects in the state. After decades of trying to find common ground between landowners and hunters, the North Dakota legislature has updated hunting access and criminal trespassing laws. Under state law, all land has been considered open to enter for any purpose unless posted. Landowners have tried for years to make all land considered closed without permission. Conflicts with hunters who disregard signs has been a common complaint. The new law removes ambiguity about who can enter land enclosed with well-maintained fences and allows for electronic or physical posting of land for no trespassing. It makes North Dakota the first state in the nation to allow electronic posting of private land.
Finally bringing some resolution to the landowner-sportsman conflict that we've been working on for all the 20 years that I've been here. We've been working on it. So finally I think we bridged the gap and are starting to heal the chasm between those two organizations.
The new law takes effect August 1st. You can read a more complete legislative wrap-up in the next AgWeek magazine or at AgWeek.com. Ahead on AgweekTV, demand for dairy products remains high after getting a boost from the pandemic. And later, a North Dakota college is showing off its new agribusiness to high school students.
Growing up as a kid, Gateway was always the grain bin building and the grain handling people that were out in our area. One of the reasons we chose to go with Gateway was they're the leader in the industry and they are the #1 Brock dealer in the United States. We've really liked the Brock design and some of the designs that Gateway has come up with throughout the years. My best advice would be to just put your trust in them and let them come up with the design that's going to fit your needs.
They say when the going gets tough, the tough get going. At OK Tire, we're here to keep you going. From Firestone tires and replacements to retreads and even Firestone tracks, we have you covered. Our certified Firestone experts are ready to get you back up and running, no matter if you're on site or in the field, saving you time and money. OK Tire, we keep the tough going.
Salty soils? Meet Calcium, one of the quickest and most effective way to fix salty soils. It's natural, it's easy to use, and most importantly, it works. On sodic soils, on saline soils, on all soils. Put calcium to work leaching salt below the root zone and out of your field, resulting in less compaction, better irrigation, improved health, and lots of these guys for your soil. And higher quality forage, greater yields, and lower bottom line production costs for you. With more than 20 years of use in the industry and a proven track record of bringing life back to challenging soils, you can trust Calcine to ensure your fields are their most productive. Calcine, let's create healthier soils. To learn more about how Calcine can improve the productivity of your fields, contact Jim Erickson or visit calcine.us.
Go beyond the headlines with an AgWeek membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to AgWeek and AgweekTV.
So the weather has turned more cooperative for planting efforts, but has brought little drought relief. Is there any hope for a change in trend? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
After a week of mostly pretty cold weather conditions across the northern plains, things are returning to a little bit different weather pattern. First of all, we are looking at some spring showers, those April-May showers that tend to produce more sporadic areas of rain, less concentrated than you get with the larger storms during winter and earlier in the spring. Secondly, the really cold air has retreated. We're looking at milder weather even up into southern Canada, although in many places and in some cases it will still be near to below average. Other areas will be a little warmer than average. We'll take a look at that. And not a lot of real heat, although May and April, earlier in the spring, had definitely been advertised as holding a high potential for some hot temperatures. We're just not seeing it develop. In fact, due to that big bulge in the polar vortex during the latter part of April, what we're seeing is generally cooler weather, and that may manifest itself again during this period. Relatively warm weather has moved up into the Corn Belt as we look at the weather pattern this week. Really cold weather, though, is now confined mostly to the higher elevations of the Rockies and the Hudson Bay Northwest Territories corridor, where spring doesn't usually come for a long, long time. Alaska getting significant melting now, and also many areas of the Rockies will start to see rapidly melting snow as warmer temperatures build in. As far as the Great Plains and upper Midwest go, temperatures sort of near average. A lot of 50s and 60s in the north, 70s and 80s in the south as we go through the week, and that is really fairly typical. Looks like there will be some relatively hot temperatures, some 90s down in the southern plains, most notably in Texas and Oklahoma, but nothing really terribly unusual. As we move into the second week now, we're looking at May 9th through the 15th, still looking to stay relatively warm. It does look like there may be at least one surge of warm temperatures up into western Canada, where we're going to get some 70s and 80s up there on the high plains, but that's not really going to overspread the entire northern plains region, as the general weather pattern looks near average to slightly below average on temperatures. Dry weather out of Canada will keep things dry. Most of North Dakota, Minnesota, little to no significant moisture this week. I do see some last vestiges of snow in the higher terrain of the Rocky Mountains. Showers and thunderstorms in the southern part of the Midwest will produce some locally heavy rains, turning into showers in the northeast. Most of the west coast looks fairly dry. As we move into the second week, still looks relatively dry in the northern plains. There will be an area of showers and thunder showers in through the high plains, spreading out into the Corn Belt, and it looks like Texas may get some storms, while the southwest likely remains dry over the next 2 weeks, which is typical this time of year.
Challenges. We all face them at some time. But it seems that ag has seen its fair share over the past few years. Has your farming operation been able to stand the challenges? If not, maybe it's time to talk to the risk management specialist at Martinson Ag. We can help you make the sound decisions to help your operation weather the storm. Martinson Ag, your one-stop shop for crop insurance, livestock insurance, and marketing. We are here to take your operation to the next level.
We have products that no other companies have. That gives us a bit of an advantage and a bit of an edge, and it provides some security to our customer base that we've been here, we're here to stay, and we want to still provide these new innovations to the customers today. It's cold granulated products where we're putting together multiple nutrients. We've got products in our Micro Essentials lineup that contain sulfur and zinc, and we also have products on our potash side which contain boron, which is a newer product for us, which is called Aspire.
At Trans Systems, every day is a great day to haul beets. Our family-owned business moves more beets than anyone in the world. We enjoy good work and good pay, and many of us have been here for decades because it's a place where our opinions are heard and our accomplishments are seen. We're your home every day and can take summers off. Here, our safety and yours matter most. Trans Systems, a sweet haul in the Red River Valley since 1983.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
AgWeek brings you timely agriculture news from field to fork in digital, print, and television. Fresh every week, join me, Mike Speaker, from the AgWeek editorial team for a deeper dive into farm and ranch stories with personalities from the world of agriculture. If you are involved in farming, ranching, or agribusiness, the AgWeek podcast is the show for you.
Domestic demand for dairy products continues to increase after a surge in sales last year tied to COVID-19 and continued growth as the U.S. recovers from the pandemic. The dairy product consumption surge started a year ago. With restaurants shut down, sales of foods like pizza drove up cheese sales. With more consumers eating at home and learning to cook and bake, other dairy products also saw an uptick in demand, and that trend has continued.
We saw a bump in milk sales as well as butter sales because of the pandemic, which were welcome. We know that consumers were eating more at home, and so breakfast was a big boon for us as well as snacking. And then we had our home baking going on, which helped butter as well.
She says the Midwest Dairy Association also had successful promotions with retail partners during the pandemic, and they're hoping to build on that post-pandemic. Global demand for dairy has also been strong, and U.S. exports in February surged, while dairy imports have dropped to multi-year lows. A federal judge is still considering a motion to dismiss Indigo Ag's lawsuit against a South Dakota grain marketing company and its owner. Indigo Ag of Memphis and Boston deals in crop technology, carbon credits, and grain marketing. It's suing grain dealer Jeremy Frost and his Fearless Grain Marketing Company of Oneida, South Dakota. Indigo says Frost overstepped his bounds as an independent contractor for farmers. He was supposed to be recruiting to sell grain to Indigo, but Indigo said he's counseled farmers to break contracts after he'd linked them up with the company. In addition to the lawsuit, the South Dakota Public Utilities Commission has issued a cease and desist against Frost on trading grain and has authorized its lawyers to monitor Frost to make sure he doesn't trade grain without a license, and if they think necessary, to file for an injunction.
In the area of grain buyers, we have very specific jurisdiction relating to licensing, bonding, inspection of financial records, but it certainly does not extend into resolving contractual issues between grain buyers and grain sellers.
It's still not clear how many farmers are included in the dispute or how much money is involved. It's thought to be at least in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Still ahead on AgweekTV, we'll meet NDSU's very first precision ag graduate.
Some things in life are hard. That's why banking shouldn't be. Cornerstone Bank.
At North Star Ag, we're more than your short-line machinery dealer. We're also full service, and we're farmers first. That means we know it's not about what's best, but what's best for your farm. Whether you're planting, growing, or harvesting, we're there for all your equipment, parts, and service needs. And we've been doing it since 2009, with the largest inventory and availability in the area. Check us out at northstar-ag.com or call us at 701-361-4790.
Dig, lay, and bury drain tile all in one pass with the Crary Tile Pro Plow. The Crary Tile Pro Plow lays tile up to 7 feet deep with boot sizes of 4 to 12 inches. Advantages of installing drain tile to your field provides increased overall yield, improved soil moisture levels, and controls soil erosion. It pays to tile with a Crary Tile Pro. To locate a dealer near you, visit www.crarytilepro.com.
At Trans Systems, every day is a great day to haul beets. Our family-owned business moves more beets than anyone in the world. We enjoy good work and good pay, and many of us have been here for decades because it's a place where our opinions are heard and our accomplishments are seen. We're your home every day and can take summers off. Here, our safety and yours matter most. Trans Systems, a sweet haul in the Red River Valley since 1983.
For AgWeek, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. An NDSU student will soon be the school's first to graduate with a precision ag degree. Justin Lehman studied precision ag at North Dakota State College of Science for 2 years before coming to NDSU to take part in the brand new program. His family farms and ranches in southeast North Dakota, and he says he's always loved working with agricultural technology, so he was happy to be the program's guinea pig.
My passion for precision ag kind of grew as I went into college and really saw all these technologies available, and then that passion grew as I went forth into the precision ag program and got my internships and saw all this technology and all these awesome things happening in the real world.
After graduating, Lehman will be putting his degree to work as Infinity Ag's agronomy manager. Mayville State launched a new agribusiness degree this year. So the school has been hosting agribusiness activity days to show high school students all the options available to them in the industry. The new program will highlight the latest technology and trends in an ever-evolving industry, including drones.
So we're not only preparing these students to continue the farm and the ranch production, but we're also training them and giving them the education that supports other areas of business that are closely associated with agriculture.
It's definitely opened my eyes up to all of the options in agribusiness and a lot of the different sides of it, more than just farming and more than just business. It's collaboration of both of them together.
This was Mayville State's third agribusiness activity day so far this year. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Have yourself a great and safe week.